The Right Side with Doug Billings.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the set of my show, The Right Side. Doug Billings here. I just want to take a few minutes with you today to kind of walk some of you off of the ledge of panic with regards to what's going on in Venezuela and how that juxtaposes against what we're trying to accomplish here in America. I got a text from a good friend of mine, Mike. I can't tell you his last name because that would be indiscreet. Beeler. And Mike is a little concerned. He's one of the smartest men I know, concerned that we are losing track of what's important at home because of what we're doing in Venezuela. Now, I understand that, but I think that it's built on a false assumption. I think that that's partly what the media wants you to believe. And the assumption is that America is enforcing laws abroad, and that will weaken the MAGA and America First movement at home. Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't. In fact, the opposite is true. First, let's just address the fear head on. If you're worried that the Maduro capture opens a new foreign front for America, that it distracts us from domestic priorities, and that it could cost Republicans the House in the 2026 midterms, let me give you the reality. This was not a war. This was not nation building. And this is not a long-term foreign entanglement. This was law enforcement against a known narco-terrorist. Now, here's the political truth that most commentators on the news and on your computer are missing. Voters don't punish strength. They punish chaos, weakness, and drift. What lost Republican elections in the past was not decisive action. It was endless wars with no mission, no goals, no results. This situation is the exact opposite. Donald Trump didn't announce a Venezuelan war. He announced an arrest. And that matters politically and psychologically. Secondly, so let's talk about MAGA and America First priorities at home. Nothing about this situation delays our border enforcement, rounding up the illegals, deporting them, the Department of Justice cleanup, economic nationalism, energy dominance, election integrity issues. Doesn't slow any of that down. Those are domestic executive actions, and they are already underway. This operation in Venezuela didn't consume congressional bandwidth. It didn't require a new funding vote. It didn't hijack legislative momentum at all. In fact, it reinforces something very critical for us. Trump can walk and chew gum at the same time, believe it or not, very much unlike the comatose thing that we had in the Oval Office prior to him. And thirdly, the House, okay? My friends, Republicans don't lose the House because Trump looks strong. They lose it when voters think that nothing ever changes, and that this action really, when we look at it in Venezuela, sends the opposite signal. It tells voters criminals are no longer protected. America is not paralyzed. Leadership is back. And in fact, America has reestablished itself as the only, ladies and gentlemen, the only superpower on this planet. Now, we are working on the accountability issue. Pam Bondi and Kash Patel have been in their offices after confirmation for 9 months. We saw the radical liberals throw dozens of fictitious charges against our president, his family, and his inner circle. And look what happens when you throw fiction at somebody. It falls away. It's overturned. It's appealed. It's thrown out. We, on the right side, are building cases that will stick with facts, truth, indictments, grand juries, etc. All of the tools that the radical left never used when they went after Trump and his associates. We want these things to last and be appeal-proof, to stick when we get convictions, and we will. So here's the part that should actually reassure you the most. Look at who's panicking. It's not MAGA voters. It's not the independent voters. And it's not working class Americans. It's the foreign policy blob and the NGOs, the corporate media, and the same people who told us that we could never touch people like Maduro. We just can't do that. And when those people panic, it usually means that Trump is aligned with the public, not against it. And finally, this also matters. This was a preventative action. It was not proactive. Narco states export drugs, crime, trafficking, and chaos into the United States. We stopped it before it metastasized. It's not a distraction for the MAGA America First agenda. It is part of MAGA and the American First agenda. Secure borders don't start at Texas, ladies and gentlemen. They start with consequences. So no, this does not cost Trump the House. If anything, it reminds voters why they want him in office and why they send him back there. To act, to lead, and to end the era of American hesitation and wussification with regards to these kinds and other issues. Head over to YouTube, everybody. YouTube, that's your assignment. Head to YouTube and subscribe to my channel at The Right Side, Doug Billings. If you want to follow me on X and Truth Social, at Doug Billings. And if you want a personal message, book me on Cameo. Happy to do that for you. Hey, as I always say, and I mean it, we are in this together. Believe it. For the Republic. Cheers.
The Right Side with Doug Billings.